know a lot of people thought I was crazy because I made some proclamations when I first did this story. And I actually said that there were some things that were involved that I thought were of an illicit nature with regard to this man's interactions with this young girl. And guess what? Just Jay was absolutely damn right. So we're going to go ahead and start off like that. But before we get into the details, and it's going to be a little bit graphic, let me give you a disclaimer first. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Now, I'm getting my article from fox35orlando.com, so thank you for the article. There were a bunch of them, but I thought this one was the most comprehensive. And let me give a shout out to all the YouTubers that talked about this story, shared this story. It's very, very important. When I read it, I was like, it wasn't one extra charge. It wasn't two. It wasn't three. It wasn't four. It wasn't five. 60. Can y'all count that out in the chat? Can you type a 60 in the chat, please? 60 or SIXTY, if you would, please, to let me know that you heard me say 60 new filed criminal charges against the pedophile that you guys just saw come across my screen. Now, there's a difference between a pedophile and a hebephile. Hebephile is over the age of pubescence, 13 years or older. Pedophile is under the age of pubescence. So everybody understands. So this would make him a pedophile because not only did we have evidence to suggest that he probably messed with this young girl, Madeline Soto, under the age of 13 years old. Thank y'all for those 60s in there. I appreciate that. Under the age of 13 years old. So we're thinking roughly about 2 years, maybe more, maybe less. We really don't know for a definitive figure on that. 60 new criminal charges against this against this pedophile that you guys see on my screen. That is Stephan, whatever his stupid name is, Stephan Stearns, the prime suspect in the disappearance and death of Madeline Soto. And we're going to get on to the mother. I don't want y'all to think that we're not, because I did, and I was one of the few people who actually got onto the mother. Believe it or not, there were actually people coming out and saying that, well, maybe the mother was scared. Maybe he's manipulating the mother. Look, don't do that shit, okay? Don't do that. If you are an apologist for people who cause their children or turn a blind eye to be in these situations just because they want to have a mate, because they're lonely at night, because they want some creature crawling up and through and between their legs at night. If you're one of those people, this is not the show for you. This ain't the channel for you. We're the advocates for children because we're going to put children at the forefront. And there is absolutely no freaking way that this mother should have custody of this child. We're going to talk about that GoFundMe here in a minute too. Let alone this man being around this kid. Let's talk about this. 60 new charges. Stearns, who is the boyfriend of Madeline Soto's mother, Jennifer Soto, and if you didn't see that interview, I could show it again. If y'all want to see it, let me know. I'll show it to you. So we have right now 8 counts of sexual battery of a child under 12. That's the charge. So don't tell me that I'm wrong about what I'm talking about. 5 counts of sexual battery with a child aged 12 to 18. 7 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation. And 40 counts of unlawful 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. The 36-page affidavit, and I wish I could get my hands on that because I would love to read that just to know what the hell this child went through. Obtained by the news, details all 60 counts of what Stearns is accused of, but the news is choosing not to release the details. And I understand because it's very, very graphic. But I think it would have been at least good to be able to pick and choose some of the things that we discussed, but we can do that another time because this is just the beginning. The document doesn't name the victim, but does include a date range of how long Stearns has allegedly been in possession of graphic materials or when the alleged abuse started, which was around June 19th of 2019. The range tops out on February 26th of 2024, the day Madeline was last seen. A previous affidavit from the Kissimmee Police Department says that Stearns performed a factory reset. If you were in customer service, you know we refer to that because I used to be in customer service, refer to that as an RTN, right? Factory reset on your phone. That sounds like somebody who's got a hell of a lot to hide. But even then, forensics can recover the information on that phone regardless of, well, it's deleted. It's gone forever. It can be recovered, and I hope they do before this is all said and done. While it remains unclear who the victims are, if one of them is Madeline Soto, she would have been 8 years old when the alleged crimes began. Make sure y'all notate in your brains. We'll come back to that. The affidavit said Stearns was in a position of familial or custodial authority when he allegedly committed some of the sexual batteries. It also remains unclear exactly how many images Stearns was allegedly in possession of, but each count says he was in possession of 10 or more images. That means he could have been in possession of at least 400 images of any form of child pornography. And speaking of which, I was actually on a channel earlier today, and shout out to Justin. I was over there at his YouTube channel earlier watching that this morning with this update that he was doing. And we were talking about that, and they were saying, what would he have these images for? Well, it could be for a lot of different reasons. One, I just flat out believe that he was probably using these images for his own sexual perverted gratification. Let alone the fact that maybe there might be a market for him to put this on the black market and try to sell this illegal, highly illegal content, because there's a big market for, trying to think about how to say this, for illicit deeds. Shout out to illicit deeds, by the way. For illicit deeds with children, there is a weird ass market for that type of stuff. But I honestly don't think that this man is bright enough to know how to maneuver in that realm. So he'll be arraigned on April 2nd, which is just a matter of weeks away. According to the state attorney's office, sexual battery on a child under 12 is a capital felony. Okay? Capital felony, and is punishable by life in prison or death if convicted. So I hope y'all catch that. His other charges carry sentences up to life in prison or 15 years in prison for each count. And I hope they give it to him consecutively rather than concurrent. So anyway, let's skip some of this. He remains in custody of the Osceola County Jail after he was arrested February 28th on unrelated charges, after he voluntarily turned his phone over to law enforcement during the search for his girlfriend's daughter, including sexual battery and possession of child sex abuse material. The night of his arrest, the Orange County Sheriff's Office named him as the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's disappearance. The state attorney's office has been working closely with KPD and received evidence that gave us cause to file formal charges against him. We appreciate the thoroughness and detailed attention of their investigation and will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to build a strong case against the defendant. The charges just came over 2 weeks after Madeline Soto's body was found on the afternoon of March the 1st, so a lot of y'all remember that because that was a big, big day. She was found in this area of Old Hickory Tree Road in a rural Osceola County. She was found in this area where Stearns was last seen possibly changing a flat tire on Monday afternoon, wearing clothing similar to what he was last seen in. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephan Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in the vehicle, Sheriff Meter said during a press conference. We believe she was already dead at that time. Madeline Soto was last seen on the morning of February 26. Stearns is said to have dropped her off at school that day, but Orange County Sheriff John Meena said that she never made it. Here's the funny part about that detailing, and if you guys are watching, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up and share this. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. The mother also came out and did an interview, and both of them, between him and her, gave conflicting information as far as he took her, she took her, we took her, we don't know what happened. And that's why I think not only the mother should be arrested for that alone, but I want y'all to think about this. And I think I could skip some of the rest of this. Yeah, I could skip the rest of this. I want y'all to think about how many years this potentially had been going on, a minimum of 2 years. Potentially sexual assault against a baby, against a child. She's a baby to me, a little baby. She's a child. Can't speak for herself and definitely cannot defend herself against the tyranny of her parents. I think that this mother was so in love with her boyfriend, and this is when we call it, what do we call that? The thug zoo, we call this hashtag mom's boyfriend, right? When you date thugs, you date death. I think this mother, and I want y'all to look at some of these videos. I'll replay that interview if you want to see it. But this mother appeared to be more in love with her boyfriend, be more concerned. She showed more compassion for him while he was talking about her missing daughter, rather than when she finally had to talk about her daughter and just didn't really seem to give a crap. But I want you guys to take a look at these news videos. This is updated information. Let's share this and let's get into it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And I'm curious to know how many of you guys believe that the mother should be arrested and charged, investigated. She should be harassed by the investigative team based on what she's acting like she didn't know. I just refuse to believe that in all these years, you didn't know what was going on. You didn't see nothing. You didn't say nothing. You didn't have any idea all of this was going on. How do you not notice this is going on with your daughter? And ladies, I've been telling y'all this for a long time. Ladies in the chat can tell you if I'm right or wrong about this. Have I not been saying this for the longest? That if a man in a situation like this, usually the perverted mind, when you bring these boyfriends into your life and you have these little young girls look like younger, budding, untainted versions of yourselves. Don't fool yourself into thinking that this man might not be sexually attracted to your daughter if he's attracted to you. I personally don't think that single mothers should be dating and bringing men around their children, girls or boys. I think you should. I don't understand why there's such a big push to have boyfriends around your kids when it just don't seem like a lot of these chicks are that adamant about having the biological father. They're not that frugal about bringing the biological father around the kids, but they'll bring some dude that they just love to be with around their kids. No problem with that, huh?
Breaking this afternoon, new charges have been filed against Stephan Stearns. He is the lead suspect in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, whose body was found earlier this month. Meredith McDonough is here to explain that these new charges are not connected to Madeline's murder.
Sheldon, not murder, but still a total of 60 new charges have been filed against Stearns in connection with the death of Madeline Soto, who was found dead after being reported missing. Now, the new charges include 8 counts of sexual battery on a child under the age of 12, 5 counts of sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years old, and then 7 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation and 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. Now, shortly after Madeline Soto's disappearance, several disturbing images and videos were found on Stephan Stearns' phone. He was then arrested on sexual battery charges along with possession of child sexual abuse material. According to officials, further investigation then revealed more images and videos depicting criminal acts, and this is from where the new charges stem. According to those documents obtained by West 2 News, Stearns was abusing Madeline for nearly 2 years. Now, Madeline was missing for nearly a week before her body was found in a wooded area in St. Cloud. Now, again, Stearns is a suspect in her death, but not currently charged with her murder. We'll continue to follow this breaking update. Sheldon, back to you.
And disturbing new details revealed this morning from police as an outpouring of support continues for Madeline Soto.
That's right. The community is honoring her memory days after investigators found her body. Fox 45's Marley Capper joining us live this morning with more. And Marley, good morning to you. We do know the community and loved ones held a memorial for Maddie yesterday.
Amy and Danielle, good morning. That's right. So a lot of people showed up for this. Parents, grandparents mostly, just people who either knew her or didn't even know her, but were just shocked to learn what she had to endure and the tragic ending of her life. People brought balloons and toys, flowers, everything you name it, teddy bears, to a growing memorial on the side of Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County. Maddie's disappearance and now murder has sparked a widespread community support in the quest for justice.
Whoever it may be, they need to be punished to the fullest extent of the law.
New documents reveal more about what the 13-year-old victim might have had to endure. A Kissimmee police arrest affidavit for the prime suspect in Maddie's disappearance, Stephan Stearns. That's Maddie's mother's boyfriend, stating photos and videos recovered from his phone show private body parts of a young victim. The metadata timestamping those images all the way back to August of 2022. Although the victim's identity has been redacted, the birth date isn't, and it matches Soto's birthday, revealing that the victim in this report was just 11 years old when the sexually explicit photos and videos were taken. Now, Stearns remains behind bars with no bond. Now, he has been arrested for those pictures and videos, but he has not been charged yet in the disappearance of Maddie or for her murder. Reporting live in Kissimmee, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thank you. New information this morning on the investigation into a crime scene photo that was accidentally posted to the Osceola County Sheriff's Instagram account. We are not airing that image, but it does appear to show Maddie Soto's body on the ground where she was found in St. Cloud. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office sent a new statement to Fox 35. It says, quote, the Sheriff's Office contacted the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to offer our cooperation and transparency into the inadvertent release of an investigative photograph. We understand the community's concerns, and we welcome an independent review of what transpired. We did reach out to FDLE for comment. We have not yet heard back.
Tonight, we're learning disturbing new details in the case of a teenager found dead in St. Cloud days after being reported missing.
Documents obtained by West 2 today allege that Stephan Stearns, the boyfriend of Madeline Soto's mom, was sexually abusing that teen for nearly 2 years. Haley Crumblehome breaks down what else these documents reveal. Haley.
So according to those documents, law enforcement was able to find some disturbing videos and images on Stearns' phone, despite the fact that he said he accidentally did a factory reset on that phone the day that Madeline disappeared. But like I said, law enforcement were still.
And just again, as a reminder, y'all heard that he said accident. It is absolutely impossible to accidentally do a factory reset on any smartphone, any cellular phone. It's flat out impossible to accidentally do that. Want to throw that out there for those who might not know.
Able to get some significant information off of that phone. They say the pictures and videos they found on it show he had been sexually abusing Madeline since at least August of 2022, when she was just 11. They say the room that could be seen in some of the pictures is a room in the home Madeline shared with her mother and with Stearns. Now, right now, Stearns is being held here in the Osceola County Jail on no bond on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. Live in Osceola County, Haley Crumblehome, West 2 News.
Just one day after the body of 13-year-old Maddie Soto was found, the prime suspect in her disappearance was a no-show in court today. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Manny Martinez. Stephan Stearns waived his first appearance before a judge this morning for the second time in just a span of a few days. He's now facing sexual battery and child pornography charges, but has not so far yet been charged in Maddie's death. Fox 35's Matt Trezza explains why more charges could be on the way.
Stephan Stearns was a no-show for his first appearance in Osceola County Court. His lawyer didn't even want the judge reading out the charges.
Stephan Stearns, or Stephan, Your Honor, at this time, I am going to waive Mr. Stern's appearance. I'm also going to waive the reading of these charges. Mr. Stearns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
At the first appearance, Stearns faced charges including sexual battery and possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child. Stearns had voluntarily handed his phone to investigators who managed to recover photos and videos that they called disturbing. Investigators say he's also the prime suspect in Maddie Soto's disappearance. Search teams finally recovered Maddie's body Friday evening after an exhaustive search through the woods in Osceola County. The judge said Stearns would stay behind bars.
Understood, sir. You got 0 bond and 24 CF 632. Good luck to you.
Orange County deputies have turned over the case to Kissimmee police. Sheriff John Mina says they have proof Stearns tried to cover his tracks after Maddie's death.
We have video evidence that shows Stephan Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows.
Real quick, if you have that document, you say you have the link for it, Amari, do me a favor and email it to me, the afcmatters@gmail.com. The afcmatters@gmail.com. One of my moderators, if y'all could post that in there, that'd be awesome. And just tag Amari's name, the afcmatters@gmail.com.
Shows Stephan Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
Former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone says Stearns may have thought he could fool investigators.
This is a perfect example of someone who probably thought, I can get away with this. And unfortunately, everything is pointing at the fact that he had now been caught for the murder of this child.
Kissimmee police say at this time they aren't releasing any further updates on the case. In Kissimmee, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Case we are following closely, and tonight the investigation into the death of a 13-year-old Central Florida girl continues.
Madeline Soto's body was found just over a week ago after a days-long multi-county search effort, and while no one has been charged in her death yet, the prime suspect in the case, according to investigators, is a man who was supposed to be there to protect her mother's boyfriend.
So I have to ask this real quick. If you guys want to hear some of the details, I will look it over and see if there's certain details that I can read about it once I get that link to that document, and we'll just kind of go from there. But let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know if that's something y'all want to even hear or not. So just let me know.
Friend Stephan Stearns. It is a story that has impacted people across Central Florida and the country. And tonight our Rafael Pires breaks down where the investigation is at right now and how things unfolded.
About 2 weeks ago, Madeline Soto was supposed to be getting dropped off right here at Hunters Creek Middle School. We're told she never made it. Instead, the story took a disturbing turn, and now investigators are still trying to figure out how she was killed.
From a missing teen case to a murder investigation, the story of Madeline Soto has impacted people across the country and left many in Central Florida mourning the tragic loss. It all started Monday, February 26, when Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, reported to police that her daughter had gone missing.
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her.
The next day, Jennifer told our crew her boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, dropped her daughter off at a church near Hunters Creek Middle School where Maddie attended. He told investigators she wanted to walk the rest of the way, but never made it.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
From there, a large search effort got underway.
We have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now.
Several other agencies joined in, and then on Wednesday, a bombshell arrest. Late at night, the Orange County Sheriff announced the arrest of the mother's boyfriend for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material, and named him the prime suspect in the case. Then the sheriff said he believes Stearns never dropped off Madeline in the first place, and told us he was captured on camera throwing her backpack and school laptop into a dumpster Monday morning. Deputies say Maddie's body was seen in Stearns' car before he drove away.
We believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
2 days later, a major but tragic discovery. Maddie's body was found in a rural area in St. Cloud, several miles away from the family's home in Kissimmee.
And I thought about that also. The reason why he didn't want those charges read in the courtroom, because everybody would have known, but because I think people in jail would have did something quite terrible to him. So, I mean, I just really wish that I know that these attorneys, public defenders, or whatever it is that you call them, are trying to do what's in their client's best interest. But I really wish they would go that hard for children. Don't y'all think? I'm sorry, but I just don't have a lot of sympathy, empathy, just anything for people who hurt, murder, or abuse kids. So we had to take a pause for the cause because I actually went in and read what was in the document. And I'm going to just tell y'all, for those who didn't hear it, it's just as bad as you think and probably worse. Involving this child, this underage child, and him violating this child in so many ways. We can't even say what he actually did on YouTube, on the internet. That's how bad it is. So for those who are watching this video right now, go and look it up. Because even then, I was still trying to only give y'all certain details without actually reading the entire freaking thing. So, yeah.
Case we are following closely, and tonight the investigation into the death of a 13-year-old Central Florida girl continues.
Madeline Soto's body was found just over a week ago after a days-long multi-county search effort, and while no one has been charged in her death yet, the prime suspect in the case, according to investigators, is a man who was supposed to be there to protect her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Stearns. It is a story that has impacted people across Central Florida and the country. And tonight, our Rafael Pires breaks down where the investigation is at right now and how things unfolded.
About 2 weeks ago, Madeline Soto was supposed to be getting dropped off right here at Hunters Creek Middle School. We're told she never made it. Instead, the story took a disturbing turn, and now investigators are still trying to figure out how she was killed. From a missing teen case to a murder investigation, the story of Madeline Soto has impacted people across the country and left many in Central Florida mourning the tragic loss. It all started Monday, February 26, when Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, reported to police that her daughter had gone missing.
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her.
The next day, Jennifer told our crew her boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, dropped her daughter off at a church near Hunters Creek Middle School where Maddie attended. He told investigators she wanted to walk the rest of the way, but never made it.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
From there, a large search effort got underway.
We have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now.
Several other agencies joined in, and then on Wednesday, a bombshell arrest. Late at night, the Orange County Sheriff announced the arrest of the mother's boyfriend for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material and named him the prime suspect in the case. Then the sheriff said he believes Stearns never dropped off Madeline in the first place and told us he was captured on camera throwing her backpack and school laptop into a dumpster Monday morning. Deputies say Maddie's body was seen in Stearns' car before he drove away.
We believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
2 days later, a major but tragic discovery. Maddie's body was found in a rural area in St. Cloud, several miles away from the family's home in Kissimmee. Since then, her community has been mourning the loss.
It was like a hole is missing because everybody at school even, they're like sad.
Investigators now also looking at the discrepancies in the mother's statements after learning there were inconsistencies about the last time she says she saw Maddie. And Kissimmee police say investigators are continuing to dig through evidence against Stearns.
As more evidence comes up, there may be more charges in the future.
So as of right now, no one has been charged in Madeline's death. But again, the prime suspect.
Okay, so I'm going to play this part again because I want y'all to hear this interview. But again, hold on, went too far. I want you guys to remember that the mother changed her story and was giving conflicting information. And I think for that alone, knowing the severity of these charges, and let me also tell y'all this, let's just go back to those charges for a moment. If that man was so embarrassed and so scared of people finding out the charges, if he was so scared to find out and for people to find out what the charges are against him, then you would have to think, then why did he do the acts in the first place? He wasn't scared to do the acts, and now he's scared to face the music, face the consequences, face the other prisoners, face people who probably are gonna really, really look and take a harsh stance against him in prison. I don't think he should have the right to be able to not let people know what actually happened to this child. I think everybody deserves the right to know. So for those who might not have heard this before, I'm going to let y'all hear his interview once again. And I want y'all to remember all of the things that he's facing, 60 new charges. And a lot of messed up stuff that I can't even repeat over the internet. But nonetheless, I want y'all to hear him speak on this again. This is only about 3 to 4 minutes.
Questions, if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Stearns, Stephan Stearns.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out, and I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. We're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, and but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she's just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
Oh no, you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now. In one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other. And I just want to wake up and just get hit with waves of the reality. Just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. But now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
So, with me showing you guys this, I want y'all to remember, we'll talk about that GoFundMe. I forgot about that. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the GoFundMe on our last update video on this story. We got to talk about that too. That is an interview from the man that we believe that sexually violated the person that you guys see on my screen. Let's talk about this GoFundMe real quick because I almost forgot about that. Now, I mentioned this in the last stream and I told you guys and it looked like I was right. And I think that GoFundMe also got this right because they paused people trying to save them from themselves. Shout out to people who want to, I guess, like get this off their conscience and make themselves feel better. You know, like, oh, okay, this is so sad that this happened to this little girl. So let's give her money in her death in hopes of making this whole thing better and making this right, which it don't. I've always told you guys it's better to invest in the living than it is to the dead because the dead can't do a damn thing with your money. When you're talking about burial, usually in cases like this, when it involves children, the state will cover the cost when there is a criminal investigation involved, when it is a murder, from what I understand. Okay? Now, the specifics about that might vary from state to state, but from what I understand, I think this burial was going to be covered, and it looks like I was right, and they put up a GoFundMe to the tune of, I think, $10,000, but they collected $16,000. So I want y'all to not hear it from me, because maybe people don't want to hear it from me. But let me let y'all hear from some people on Facebook. So I'm going to show you somebody who posted exactly what my thoughts were. And this was posted as of 4 days ago. And I quote from Penny, and shout out to Penny. Penny said, Madeline Soto was quietly laid to rest already. Let me say that again for people who continue to keep, can I donate? Can I donate? They won't donate to a platform that's actually out here saving kids' lives, but you will donate and give money away to people who are potentially criminals involved in murdering a child. You don't know yet. But I, again, It says, quietly already laid to rest. Note, the family has a $16,000 GoFundMe for the funeral, even though her funeral would have been free. Ain't that what I've been saying? And not only that, it looks like there is potentially a verdict about to be rendered by GoFundMe. So let me show you guys this on the screen. I'm going to make it bigger so you all can see this. This is what you now see on Madeline Soto's funeral and family expenses. And again, it's saying funeral, which that funeral might already be covered. Pretty sure all the money was refunded. Well, it will be once this GoFundMe goes completely down. And we expect for that to be the case. It says, donations paused. Our team has contacted the organizer with a solution, and donations will resume once the issue is resolved. Okay? Now, it's paused as of right now, but we're expecting for this GoFundMe to be taken down. Because again, who is the money going to? If the money is going towards the mother and funeral expenses, first of all, the funeral might be covered. Second of all, if it goes to the mother, then the mother might also be facing criminal charges. Then where does the money go to? Now you could be potentially donating to a person who is now involved in criminal charges. I'm not against GoFundMe. I am just pro life insurance. Life insurance is going to do their due diligence to investigate, find out what's going on before they cut a check. And it seems like GoFundMe, until somebody gets caught, they might end up cutting the check before you actually get the full details about this story. So again, I want people to remember that. Be mindful before you just start just shelling your money out when people put up these GoFundMes, especially when it involves dead children. So 60 new charges. That is brand new information. If you guys want to look up the details, just forewarning yourselves, don't eat while reading it. Be sitting down because the details are absolutely barbaric. Just really, really bad what this man is accused of doing to this girl. All right. That's a hell of an update. Let me know what you guys think. And we'll try to put this video together. I know we had some technical difficulty. We'll try to put the video together in a comprehensive way. And hopefully it'll make sense when you watch it back on the replay. Okay. Please leave a comment. And if you come up with any more information, our email address is theafcmatters@gmail.com. You can send it there. Okay. Young lady, we're not going to rest until we get you justice all the way. We believe that your mom also needs to pay. Okay. So we're not going to rest until we get some real justice. Stay tuned.